Step into a world of real holiday magic at Coca-Cola's Classic Christmas, debuting November 16th and running through December 29th at Houston's Memorial City Mall. This season, cherished holiday traditions come to life in Houston amid a spectacle of dazzling lights. Crafted by the creators of the renowned world's largest Christmas light maze, Enchant Christmas, this immersive holiday celebration promises to create unforgettable moments of togetherness and joy at this beloved time of year. Learn more at ClassicChristmas.com. That's ClassicChristmas.com. Today on CityCast Houston. After 2-year-old Emmanuel Molina was hit and killed by a car last week, all his family wanted was justice. But why wasn't the driver even arrested by Houston police? Plus, when Ken Paxton isn't blocking programs in Harris County like Uplift Harris, he's taking on an entire state when it comes to access to abortion. And the wild story of how an Amazon glitch triggered an official disaster declaration in a Houston suburb. Executive producer Laura Isensee is joining me to break down those stories and more. It's Tuesday, December 17th. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. Hey, good morning, Laura. What's up? How are you?
Well, I'm not going to lie, all the last minute holiday to-do list is getting me a little worn out, but I'm excited to be here for our last Tuesday news roundup of this year.
How much shopping do you have left?
Just a couple of things, but it's more like right now the wrapping of the presents.
Oh, yeah. That's good luck with that. That's not my department. My wife usually does that. So I appreciate her so much because it is hard to wrap presents and I'm not good at it. Have you had any issues, by the way, with getting presents on time? Like we've ordered a lot of stuff, right? And I've been emailing everybody like, hey, when is this going to ship? When is this arriving? We're down to the wire here. And I don't know if you've had this issue, but I've been stressing out about that.
I haven't been stressing out about it. I do try to shop local, get it in person, but I did order one of my last gifts just this weekend, and so I'm crossing my fingers. It's supposed to arrive in time, but anything could happen. It's such a rush.
Yeah, we can't wait. It's going to be a fun week next week. And, before you know it, the new year is going to be here. So enjoy all of these days that we have. And good luck to everyone out there if you are making that last minute holiday run, or if you want things to do when your kids are off of school starting as early as next week. We have an entire guide for you for the month of December. And we've also put out a guide of free things you can do for the holiday season that I've linked in our show notes. So please check those out and take advantage of all these great things around our city. Laura, I want to start with this story that is very hard to talk about because it involves the death of a 2-year-old, and the family of 2-year-old Emmanuel Molina is still grieving after a driver hit and killed a toddler when he was crossing an intersection with his grandmother last week. Now, the grandmother is in critical condition, and the family, while going through this grieving process, is still confused why there is no justice.
Why isn't there any justice? Like, what happened?
Well, they're seeking justice because a 25-year-old driver ran into Emmanuel, the 2-year-old, and his grandmother when they were crossing in an intersection on a crosswalk. So they're frustrated because there were no arrests made and the driver is now free. And the reason this is a big deal is because there is a 2021 Texas law that was created that could charge drivers with a felony if they injure or kill pedestrians who were lawfully using a crosswalk, which Emmanuel and his grandmother were. Now, Houston Police Department did detain the 25-year-old driver, but the driver was let go. And no charges were filed.
Why not? Do we know why they didn't file any charges?
Well, HPD Chief Noe Diaz says it's up to the DA's office. Okay, when it comes down to pursuing charges, it is up to Kim Ogg, who is still in office right until January. And here's another wrinkle to all of this. Kim Ogg has never charged anybody under that 2021 Texas law.
That's surprising, especially in a city like Houston, where sadly, we are known for not being very pedestrian friendly. It seems like that law could really help protect pedestrians like Emmanuel and his grandmother and give some accountability for drivers to be more careful going through crosswalks.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. There's no accountability, right? Now, we don't know because the investigation is still ongoing, but let's say if that driver was distracted, right? And that distraction caused a 2-year-old to lose his life, there should be some form of justice,
Yeah, some consequence.
right? And I feel for that driver, like that driver is gonna have to live with that forever. I understand that. But you have to have some consequences for your action, right? And that is if this driver was distracted. We don't know what happened. Again, the investigation is still ongoing, but this is so frustrating that HPD did not make the arrest and just let the driver be.
Yeah, I mean, it's really heartbreaking. One thing that really hits me is that sadly, again, Houston is not a pedestrian friendly city. And I know you didn't mention Mayor Whitmire, but in his first year, Mayor Whitmire has leaned to being more car friendly with different policies. And I'm just really struck by the fact that we have a state law on the books to deal with this kind of really tragic situation. And it seems like really confusing why HPD and the district attorney's office didn't talk about this. Have we heard from the new district attorney? If have they weighed in on this, Sean Tier?
Nothing from Sean Tier as of this recording. I know a lot of media outlets have reached out to Sean and asked for a comment, but they have not said anything. So I'm not sure if Sean Tier will change the way the district attorney office operates with this law when he takes power here in January. So yeah, something to watch out for. But my heart goes out to that family and what they're going through right now. And you add in the fact that, potentially no justice being served. That just, oh, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine, and yet I feel like we don't need to feel helpless. Like again, there is this law and there are actions that our leaders could take. So I would really like to know what happens if they follow up with this driver or not. Okay, so I know that was a heavy story and unfortunately my big story here is also a bit heavy and it's that our Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, he has another big lawsuit making headlines and this one is suing a doctor in New York for prescribing abortion drugs to a Texas resident. Paxton is claiming this is a violation of state law. I'm going to give you a couple details about this case, and then I'm going to share why I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, because I'm confused. Why is he going after somebody in New York?
So, Texas, even before Roe v. Wade was struck down by the Supreme Court, as you know, Texas had a near total abortion ban even before that. And so Paxton is accusing this doctor, her name is Dr. Margaret Carpenter, in New York, of mailing abortion pills to a 20-year-old woman in North Texas. She allegedly took the medication when she was 9 weeks pregnant, so in her first trimester. And then apparently she experienced some severe bleeding. According to the lawsuit, she asked the man who got her pregnant to take her to the hospital. Again, according to the lawsuit, he was not aware that she was pregnant. And we don't know what ultimately happened to the pregnancy or if she had any long term complications. But what we do know is that, and this is again why this is a big deal, is that this is the first time we have essentially a test case of two states, very different take on abortion laws going against each other. So we have Texas with a near total abortion ban going after a doctor in a blue state where they have these shield laws that were passed to protect providers and give them kind of implicit permission to send and mail abortion pills to places like Texas, where there are these very strict laws. And so we've kind of been almost waiting for a case like this. The Texas Tribune reported that the head of the advocacy group, Texas Right to Life, said exactly that they were waiting for a case. And so now it's going to be going through the courts, and it's really not clear how they're going to land on this.
Whoa. Okay. So how is this going to play out, right? Because as you mentioned, New York has these shield laws that are going to protect Dr. Carpenter, while Texas is pursuing charges against her. And I believe he is trying to get her to pay $100,000 for every violation of Texas's near total abortion ban. I'm confused in all of this. Like, what is going to happen with this? And you're right, this is a big test case because what happens here will determine a lot in terms of what other red states will do.
Yeah, I think it could determine a lot. And it kind of going to the test case, one reason why it's so complicated is that it involves some big legal questions like interstate commerce. I think it has a big implication. I mean, the case itself originated in North Texas, but really this could have happened anywhere in Texas. And it could have big implications for other red states like Texas. And it comes at a really interesting time with the second Trump presidency about to start, with a Republican supermajority on the Supreme Court. I don't remember exactly what the first court is that it's going to, but I think it's definitely something to watch in these, abortion wars that we're in the middle of.
Now, one last thing on Dr. Carpenter. She is not licensed to practice in Texas, of course, because she is out of New York, but she does run the Abortion Coalition for Telemedicine, which is a national group that helps doctors in states with shield laws provide telemedicine consultation and abortion pills to patients in states that have banned abortions. So that is a major thing in that, like, yeah, this will determine the future of not only how everything's going to work between states, but this group as well that has really stepped up since the turning of Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, since even before that, when Texas kind of took some very aggressive steps before the case was struck down. And I just think it's important to note that since women are no longer able to access these procedures, the abortion pills are one of the last alternatives that they have versus going out of state
Mhm.
to someplace like New Mexico or Colorado.
Are you ready for an unforgettable holiday experience? Then you gotta head to Houston's original neighborhood downtown to check out Snow Glow on the Bayou. From December 20th to 29th, Buffalo Bayou at Allen's Landing will become the centerpiece of the season with a spectacular immersive light show projected on a towering water screen. This show is going to blend art, music, technology, and of course, nature. So grab your lawn chairs, blankets, and of course, pack some hot cocoa for Snow Glow on the Bayou. Snow Glow runs daily from 6 to 10 p.m., and here's the best part, it's free. You can learn more at downtownhouston.org/snow, or you can register for free by texting Downtown Holidays to 56512. I'll see you at Snow Glow on the Bayou. Get energized and revived this holiday season in downtown Houston.
Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. One of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited. See mintmobile.com for details.
Okay, I have a Ken Paxton story as well. Okay.
Okay.
And Ken Paxton has been very vocal in stopping Uplift Harris, which is a guaranteed basic income program that would send $500 to about 2,000 families in Harris County. Now, this is the second iteration of this program because the first one was blocked by Ken Paxton. Then Harris County went back to the drawing board and said, all right, let's rework this program and launch it with the plan of getting these debit cards out to these families in January. Well, Ken Paxton has said, nope, absolutely not. Harris County, you are not doing this because this is in violation of the Texas Constitution, which forbids cities or counties from giving public money or things of value to individuals. And now it is blocked once again, although we have seen other universal basic income programs launched in other Texas cities and have gone off without any hitches. But for whatever reason, Ken Paxton is saying, Harris County, you will not do this, especially right now. And by the way, I want to add one more thing. This whole program is funded by leftover money from the COVID relief funds that were given to counties and cities during the pandemic. So this is how it's being funded. It's not being funded by taxpayers explicitly, from Harris County. So that's how this is all being funded. But Ken Paxton is not having this, Laura.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Ken Paxton is having anything from a blue county
Yeah.
like Harris County. I just feel like this is such a saga. Here we have Harris County trying to do something experimental, like whether you agree with it or not. I think there's merit in trying something to help people who are in extreme poverty.
Yep.
But, I just feel like this is the same playbook that we've been seeing for so long here in Houston and Texas. And, it's just red state, blue city. And it seems like county government, like they keep getting their hands tied on wanting to do something with their own money. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. It's their money. It's their money. Like they're doing what's best for their residents and they want to try this program. And other cities have tried it in Texas and across the nation. So it's worth trying and seeing, could this help our area, right?
Yeah.
Could this be an economic boost for our area? Of course, it's going to be an economic boost for these families who are living below the poverty line. But could it help us? Could it uplift the region, right? Like, could it uplift Harris? That is the program name. Like, can we try it out? But nope, can't have it.
Yeah.
Not on Ken Paxton's watch. And that is so frustrating.
Yeah. And I don't understand like why. I mean, I guess the first time he had a different legal argument and now he's going to the Texas Constitution. It's not totally clear to me like what's the actual legal reasoning, but I guess he got a judge to agree with him for now.
Yeah, it just takes one, right? It just takes one to block it, unfortunately. And by the way, props to Judge Lena Hidalgo. She said that, all right, if this is going to be held up in the courts, we will figure out some way to use this leftover money to help out families in Harris County. So that is the next layer of all of this is what's going to happen. It's going to be stuck in the courts. But what program will they come up with next, right? Because they are adamant that they are going to help people out with this money. It's not just going to go to random programs. They want to make sure that this money goes to help families.
Yeah. Well, that will be really interesting to watch in 2025. What else is grabbing your eye today, Raheel?
This next one has grabbed everyone's attention, it seems like. Have you seen the stories about the mysterious drones that are showing up on the East Coast?
Yeah, I've been hearing about it on the radio and on the social media. I hear kind of like random theories that I don't know if they have any truth to, so I'm not going to repeat them.
Yeah, same here. I've heard some wild theories, and I thought it was just an East Coast thing, but guess what?
What?
People in our area are now reporting that they are seeing these drones up and down the Gulf Coast. And one account was from Crystal Beach, which is on the Bolivar Peninsula. I love Crystal Beach. I've got to say that every time we talk about Crystal Beach. But Cheryl Bowman told Cron.com that she saw 20 drones flying for a few hours last week on multiple nights.
Oh,
Now, of course, it's a concern, right? Like you see that many drones and the noise of a drone. I don't know if you've ever heard or seen one of these like government issued drones. And I don't know if these are government issued drones or not, but these big drones are loud.
no, I haven't. I mean, my first reaction was like, is this just a bunch of early Christmas presents? Like, are kids just like playing around with their, drones? But no, I haven't seen that kind of really big drone or 20. I mean, that's a lot. And why Crystal Beach? Like, there's just not a lot going on in Crystal Beach unless you're trying to get close to a refinery. I don't know.
And that's where residents are concerned. They're like, okay, yeah, this is a big deal, of course, that these random drones are showing up, but we're so close to the port of Houston. NASA is right there, oil refineries. So, yeah, residents are freaking out. And I don't want mysterious drones showing up anywhere, let alone that close to that much commerce and important sites.
Yeah, no, I think our government leaders got to get to the bottom of this, whether it's the East
Yeah.
Coast or our neighbors in Crystal Beach. Got to get to the bottom of this and figure it out and get some regulations so that people just don't throw up random drones and be a nuisance or much, much worse.
Yeah. All right, Laura, you know what happens on Tuesdays. It is only in H-Town stories that are so unique to our city, our area, that they can only happen in H-Town. What do you got for me?
Okay, well, this is technically not only in H-Town, this is only in Humble, but it's all the same.
Yeah.
And when I saw this story drop late last week, my jaw dropped. Basically, Humble got overrun with Amazon trucks.
What?
There was some Amazon glitch, and it sent hundreds of Amazon 18-wheelers to a warehouse in Humble. And there were so many trucks, and it was so disruptive to residents and people just trying to get home and to work and whatever. The city had to pass a disaster declaration.
What? Oh
It was
my
like
gosh.
Santa's warehouse gone totally wrong. So KHOU has some pretty intense photo images of hundreds of trucks that were just parked near this warehouse. The warehouse fixes parts for Amazon. And so this software accidentally dispatched up to 1,000 trucks. 1,000.
Get out of here.
Not 100, 1,000 trucks to this local warehouse. And really, they only have a capacity for like 80 to 100 trucks. So this is like 10 times the volume. And once they were dispatched, they couldn't be stopped. So you basically have hundreds of trucks rolling up, causing traffic issues. Things are improving. But again, there's literally a disaster declaration in Humble so they can resolve this Amazon issue. And I hope Jeff Bezos, sends an apology to our neighbors in Humble.
Oh my gosh, thousands of Amazon trucks. Now, this one hits home for me because I live near an Amazon warehouse, one of those super big Amazon warehouses. And we moved into this area before this warehouse was built. And the street that it's built on, it's a 2-lane street. So, it's like great for local traffic. You can get to your neighborhoods, you can get to Target, HB, all that stuff. But now all of a sudden, this huge warehouse that has hundreds of delivery trucks, 18-wheelers rolling in, it changes traffic. It changes safety as well. And when this warehouse opened up, there were a lot of complaints about these 18-wheelers going through residential streets, right? Because there's only one way in, it seems like.
Yeah.
And Amazon is a big part of our lives now, unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you believe. But these trucks impact so much, and there are so many of these warehouses around the city of Houston and our greater Houston area that we have to talk about this. Like, it is not safe when 18-wheelers are running through these streets when there's school pickup going on. But let alone 1,000 trucks because of a glitch? What?
Yeah. I mean, errors happen, but you'd think Amazon, with all the software engineers that they have, that they would be able to avoid this. And I mean, this one is like kind of funny, but not really for everybody who has to deal with this traffic. And it just kind of goes full circle to what we talked about. We need safe streets in Houston. It's starting to sound like our friend Evan Mintz, but we need safe streets in Houston. We need first responders to be able to go through, and people should be able to walk in their neighborhoods. And I hope this is a one-time thing, and Humble gets these trucks off the streets.
Man, that is crazy. Yep, all because of a glitch. Like, oh,
that's the world we live in.
It's the world we live in, and unfortunately, it is going to happen. Laura, thank you so much for joining me. That was a lot of fun talking about all of these stories, even though some were heartbreaking, but important stories that we need to have discussions about. And if we missed any stories, please send us a message on Instagram at CityCastHouston and let us know what we missed so we can talk about it. Laura, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Talk to you soon.
That was executive producer Laura Eisensee. I've linked all of the stories in our show notes. Now, before we leave, I'm going to ask you for a favor, of course. So please rate and review the podcast wherever you listen, and please share this episode with the last 3 friends you texted. You can get even more Houston news and happenings with our daily morning newsletter, Hey Houston. I've dropped the link to subscribe in our show notes. Thanks. That will do it for today. I'm Rahil Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new.
And so Paxton, and so sorry.